My beloved child, how much longer will you carry a burden that was never yours to carry? Tell me honestly, how many nights have you laid awake, staring into the darkness, trying to solve problems that seem too big for you? How many mornings have you forced a smile onto your face while your heart quietly struggled beneath the surface? I have seen it all. I have seen the tears you wiped away before anyone could notice. I have seen the silent battles that never left your mind. I have seen the fears you never spoke aloud because you believed no one would understand. But I understand. I always have. And that is why I am speaking to you today. My child, you were never created to carry every burden by yourself. You were never meant to bear the weight of tomorrow before tomorrow even arrives. Yet day after day, you continue to exhaust yourself trying to control situations that are beyond your reach. You worry about your future. You worry about your family. You worry about your finances. You worry about things that have not even happened. And little by little, those worries have stolen your peace. They have stolen your sleep. They have stolen your joy. You tell yourself that if you think hard enough, plan carefully enough, and work tirelessly enough, you can prevent every problem from coming your way. But, my child, there are some battles that cannot be won through effort alone. There are burdens that only I can carry. There are storms that only I can calm. And there are doors that only I can open. You have spent so much energy trying to hold everything together that you have forgotten one simple truth. I am still God. I am still seated on the throne. I am still in control. Nothing happening in your life has escaped my notice. Nothing has surprised me. Nothing has caught me unprepared. Even now, while you are listening to these words, I am already working in places you cannot see. I am moving pieces into position. I am making a way where you see no way. I am preparing answers before you have even finished asking the questions. So stop carrying what was never yours to carry. Give it to me. Give me your fears. Give me your worries. Give me your unanswered questions. Give me the burden that has been crushing your spirit. Let me hold what is too heavy for you. Let me fight the battles that have exhausted you. Let me restore the peace that anxiety has stolen. My beloved child, I am not asking you to have all the answers. I am asking you to trust the one who does. I know it is difficult. I know there are moments when fear seems louder than faith. I know there are days when uncertainty surrounds you like a dark cloud. But listen carefully. Fear is not your master. Anxiety is not your future. Worry is not your destiny. I have called you for peace. I have called you for freedom. I have called you to walk beside me, not ahead of me carrying burdens I never asked you to carry. Today, I want you to make a simple decision. Release it. Let it go. Place it in my hands. And if you are ready to do that, say within your heart, Lord, I give it to you. Not because everything has already changed, not because every problem has disappeared, but because you trust that I am bigger than what you are facing. The moment you release what has been weighing you down, something beautiful begins to happen. Your heart becomes lighter. Your spirit becomes stronger. And you begin to realize that throughout every difficult moment, you were never walking alone. Because, my child, while you were crying in silence, while you were wondering if anyone noticed your pain, while you were questioning whether your prayers were being heard, I was there. And in the next moments, I want to show you something that may change the way you see your struggles forever. I want to show you that every tear, every sleepless night, and every hidden wound has been seen by me from the very beginning. My child, I saw every tear that fell when no one else was watching. I saw the moments when you sat alone, trying to be strong while your heart quietly broke inside. I saw the nights when you could not sleep, the moments when your mind refused to rest, the hours when you replayed the same worries over and over again, hoping somehow the answers would appear. I was there. When nobody called, when nobody checked on you, when you felt forgotten, I was there. You may have felt alone, but you were never abandoned. Not for a single moment, not for a single breath, not for a single tear. There were times when you wondered if your prayers had reached heaven. You whispered my name. You cried out from a weary heart, and then silence followed. You assumed I was not listening. You assumed I had turned away. But my beloved child, silence is not absence. Just because you could not hear me does not mean I was not working. Just because you could not see my hand does not mean I had stopped moving. Many of the things I have done for you happened without your eyes ever seeing them. There were dangers I protected you from. There were doors I closed for your sake. There were people I removed from your path because they could not go where I am taking you. There were battles fought on your behalf while you slept. There were blessings being prepared while you waited. And through it all, I watched over you with a love that never weakened, a love that never grew tired, a love that never changed. My child, I know the wounds you rarely speak about. I know the disappointment that still lingers in your heart. I know the promises that were broken, the trust that was betrayed, the opportunities that slipped away, the prayers that seemed unanswered. I know about every one of them. Nothing has been hidden from me. I know the smile you wear for others, and I know the sadness you carry when nobody is around. I know the strength people admire, and I know the exhaustion you feel beneath it. You do not have to pretend with me. You do not have to act stronger than you really are. You do not have to hide your fears. Bring them to me. Bring me the thoughts that keep you awake. Bring me the questions you cannot answer. Bring me the burdens you have been carrying for far too long. I already know them, and I am not disappointed in you. I am not angry with you. I am not pushing you away. I am drawing you closer, because the closer you come to me, the more you will understand that my love is not based on your perfection. My love is based on who I am, and I am faithful. Even when your faith feels weak, I am constant. Even when your emotions rise and fall, I remain beside you. Even when you feel lost. My beloved child, if these words are speaking to your heart, tell me now. I know you see me, not because you understand everything, not because all your questions have been answered, but because you are beginning to recognize that I have been with you all along. I have seen every struggle. I have seen every sacrifice. I have seen every act of faith. Nothing has been wasted, not your tears, not your waiting, not your pain. Yet there is something I want you to understand. Many of the burdens that have drained your strength were never created by your circumstances alone. There is a deeper reason your soul feels so tired. A hidden weight that has been pressing upon your heart for much longer than you realize, and until that weight is exposed, peace will always seem just beyond your reach. My child, the exhaustion you feel is not coming only from the problems around you. It is coming from the pressure within you. For a long time, you have been carrying responsibilities that were never meant to rest entirely upon your shoulders. You have been trying to hold everything together, trying to fix every problem, trying to make everyone happy, trying to prevent every disappointment, trying to control outcomes that belong in my hands, and that burden has slowly drained your soul. You tell yourself that if you worry enough, you can prepare for every possibility. If you think long enough, you can find every answer. If you work hard enough, you can avoid every failure. But my beloved child, worry has never created peace. Fear has never produced wisdom, and anxiety has never given anyone control over tomorrow. Yet the enemy has convinced many of my children that carrying heavy burdens is a sign of responsibility. It is not. There is a difference between responsibility and control. I have called you to be faithful. I have not called you to control everything. I have called you to trust. I have not called you to carry the weight of the entire future. Some of the heaviness you feel comes from constantly asking questions that no one can answer today. What if things go wrong? What if I fail? What if nothing changes? What if I lose what I love? What if my prayers are not answered? One fearful thought becomes another, and another, and another. Soon your mind becomes a prison filled with worries about events that have not even happened. My child, look at what those fears have taken from you. They have stolen moments you should have enjoyed. They have stolen peace that I freely offered. They have stolen energy you needed for today's battles. You cannot live today's blessings while being trapped inside tomorrow's fears. That is not the life I desire for you. I never intended for you to wake up each morning carrying invisible chains. I never intended for your heart to race constantly with worry. I never intended for fear to become the loudest voice in your life. Listen carefully. You do not need to know every detail of the road ahead. You only need to know the one who walks beside you. You do not need to have every answer. You only need to trust the one who does. That is why I keep calling you back to me. Not because I want more from you, but because I want more for you. I want you to experience peace, real peace, the kind of peace that remains even when circumstances have not changed yet. The kind of peace that allows you to rest while the battle is still unfolding. The kind of peace that comes from knowing I am in control. My child, there is another burden that has quietly exhausted you. You have spent too much time trying to earn what I have already given. You try to earn acceptance. You try to earn approval. You try to earn love. You try to prove your worth to people who cannot see what I see. You work harder. You sacrifice more. You push yourself beyond your limits. And still, it never feels like enough. But hear me clearly. Your value does not come from what you achieve. Your value does not come from what others think about you. Your value does not come from how successful you appear. Your value comes from the fact that you are mine. Before anyone applauded you, before anyone believed in you, before anyone recognized your efforts, I loved you, and my love has never depended on your performance. You do not have to prove your worth to me. You do not have to earn my affection. You do not have to fight for a place in my heart. You already have one. My beloved child, if you are ready to stop carrying what was never yours to carry, tell me now. I release control. Say it with faith. Not because you suddenly understand everything, but because you are choosing to trust me more than your fears. The moment you loosen your grip on control, something begins to change. You start to notice that even while you were struggling, even while you felt stuck, even while you wondered whether anything was happening at all, I was already moving, quietly, patiently, faithfully. And the truth is, my hand has been working behind circumstances that your eyes have not yet been able to see. My child, while you were waiting, I was working. While you were praying, I was listening. While you were wondering if anything would ever change, I was arranging things in ways your eyes could not yet perceive. Many times, you measure progress only by what you can see. You look at your circumstances. You look at your bank account. You look at your relationships. You look at the doors that remain closed. And because you do not see immediate change, you assume nothing is happening. But, my beloved child, some of my greatest works begin where human eyes can no longer see. A seed buried beneath the soil appears lifeless before it begins to grow. The dawn is already approaching while the night still looks dark. And many of the answers you are waiting for are already moving toward you, even though you cannot yet recognize them. I need you to understand something. Delay is not denial. Waiting is not abandonment. Silence is not rejection. There have been seasons in your life when I could have answered immediately, but an immediate answer would not have been the best answer. You asked for relief. I was building strength. You asked for an open door. I was preparing you for what stood behind it. You asked for a blessing. I was shaping your character so the blessing would not destroy you. You asked for a miracle. I was creating a foundation strong enough to sustain it. My child, if I gave you everything the moment you requested it, many of those gifts would have become burdens. That is why my timing is perfect. I see the entire road. You see only a few steps ahead. I see dangers that you cannot see. I see opportunities you do not yet know exist. I see the people I am bringing into your life. I see the people I am removing for your protection. I see every detail. Nothing escapes my attention. Nothing surprises me. Nothing is beyond my power. That opportunity you thought was lost. That relationship you thought was broken forever. That dream you nearly gave up on. That prayer you stopped mentioning because it seemed impossible. I have not forgotten any of it. Not one word. Not one tear. Not one prayer. The enemy wants you to believe that because you cannot see movement, there is no movement. But faith has never depended on sight. Faith trusts before the evidence appears. Faith continues walking when the road is unclear. Faith believes my promises even when circumstances suggest otherwise. And that kind of faith moves my heart. My beloved child, there are blessings being prepared for you right now. There are answers closer than you realize. There are doors beginning to move. There are chains beginning to break. There are burdens becoming lighter. There are opportunities being positioned. You may not see them yet, but you do not need to see them in order for them to be real. I need you to stop measuring my faithfulness by your current circumstances. Measure it by my character. Have I not carried you before? Have I not provided when you thought there was no way? Have I not comforted you in seasons when your heart was broken? Have I not protected you through storms that should have overwhelmed you? Then why should this moment be any different? The same God who brought you through yesterday is still holding you today. The same God who opened doors before can open doors again. The same God who performed miracles before still works miracles now. My child, if you trust my timing, tell me, I trust your plan, not because everything makes sense, not because every question has been answered, but because you know that my wisdom is greater than your understanding. Trust me when you see progress. Trust me when you do not. Trust me when the path is clear. Trust me when the path is hidden. Trust me when prayers are answered quickly. Trust me when answers seem delayed, because I am always working for your good, even now, especially now. And as my plans continue unfolding, there is something beautiful approaching your life. Something that will remind you that your waiting was not wasted. Something that will reveal why I asked you to keep believing when it would have been easier to give up. The season you have been praying for is closer than you think. The changes you have longed to see are beginning to take shape, and your heart must be ready to receive what I am bringing, my child. For so long you have focused on what was lost, the opportunities that slipped away, the relationships that changed, the prayers that seemed unanswered, the dreams that appeared delayed. And because of those disappointments, you have quietly begun expecting less from life, less joy, less peace, less hope. You learn to protect your heart by lowering your expectations. You stopped believing for certain things because disappointment hurt too much. You told yourself that perhaps this was simply how life would always be. But my beloved child, that is not the future I have prepared for you. I am not the God of endings. I am the God of restoration. I am the God who rebuilds what seems broken. I am the God who revives what appears lifeless. I am the God who creates new beginnings where others see only final chapters. There are seasons when life feels like winter, cold, silent, empty. Nothing appears to be growing. Nothing appears to be changing. Yet beneath the surface, preparation is taking place. Roots are growing deeper. Strength is being developed. Foundations are being secured. And when the season changes, growth appears suddenly. People call it a miracle. But I know it was a process unfolding all along. My child, many of the things you thought were dead are not dead. Some dreams are simply waiting for their appointed season. Some blessings are simply waiting for the right moment. Some prayers are still moving toward fulfillment. You have cried enough tears. You have carried enough burdens. You have endured enough sleepless nights. And now I want you to lift your eyes beyond your current circumstances. Look beyond what you see today. Look beyond the limitations around you. Look beyond the voices that tell you nothing will ever change. Because change is already beginning. Not because of your strength. Not because of your perfection. But because of my faithfulness. I am restoring courage where fear has lived. I am restoring peace where anxiety has ruled. I am restoring hope where disappointment has settled. I am restoring joy where sorrow has lingered. And little by little, the things that once felt impossible will begin to look different. The burden will not feel as heavy. The fear will not feel as powerful. The uncertainty will not feel as overwhelming. Because my presence changes everything it touches. My beloved child, some blessings arrive quietly. A new opportunity, a new friendship, a new idea, a new strength you did not know you possessed. Others arrive in ways that leave no doubt they came from me. Doors opening unexpectedly, provision arriving at the perfect time, answers appearing when all hope seemed lost. Either way, they come from the same loving hand, my hand. That is why I do not want you to lose heart. Do not allow temporary circumstances to convince you that your story is over. Do not let a difficult season define your future. Do not mistake a chapter for the entire book. The story I am writing in your life is not finished. There are pages yet to be written, victories yet to be celebrated, blessings yet to be received, and miracles yet to unfold. My child, if you are ready to receive what I am preparing, tell me now. My season is changing. Say it with faith. Say it even if your circumstances have not changed yet. Say it because you trust my promises more than your fears. Say it because you believe that I am still working. Say it because you know that what is coming is greater than what has been lost. I want your heart to be expectant, not fearful, not discouraged, not defeated, expectant, because those who trust me are never abandoned. Those who wait upon me are never forgotten. Those who place their hope in me will find new strength. And as your strength returns, there is something else I need you to understand. There are certain things that cannot enter the future I am preparing for you. Some burdens must be released. Some wounds must be healed. Some chains must be broken. And some things that have been holding your heart captive must finally be left behind. My child, you cannot carry freedom and chains at the same time. You cannot walk confidently into a new season while remaining attached to everything that wounded you in the last one. And that is why I am gently asking you to release what has been holding your heart captive. For some, it is fear. For others, it is guilt. For others, it is resentment, disappointment, shame, regret, bitterness. The names may be different, but the result is often the same. These burdens quietly steal peace from the soul. Perhaps there are moments from your past that you continue to replay, mistakes you wish you could undo, words you wish you had never spoken, decisions you wish you had never made. And even though I have already offered forgiveness, you continue punishing yourself for things I have already released. My beloved child, why are you carrying what I have already forgiven? Why are you living under a sentence that I have already lifted? Why do you continue looking backward when I am calling you forward? The enemy wants you trapped in yesterday. Because a person trapped in yesterday struggles to embrace tomorrow. A heart filled with regret cannot fully receive hope. A mind consumed by guilt cannot fully receive peace. That is why I am asking you to let go. Not because what happened did not matter. Not because the pain was not real. But because I do not want the pain of the past to control the future I am preparing for you. My child, there are wounds that people caused. There are betrayals you never deserved. Promises that were broken. Trust that was violated. Moments when you gave your best and received hurt in return. I know. I saw every one of those moments. I saw the tears. I saw the disappointment. I saw the loneliness. And I know there are still names that bring pain when they enter your mind. But listen carefully. Holding on to resentment will never heal your heart. Bitterness cannot restore what was lost. Anger cannot create peace. The person most harmed by an unforgiving heart is often the one carrying it. That is why I am inviting you into freedom. Not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Release them into my hands. Allow me to be the judge. Allow me to handle what you cannot. Allow me to carry what has become too heavy. You were never meant to spend your life collecting wounds. You were created to walk in freedom. My child, there is another chain I want to break today. The chain of believing you are not enough. For too long, you have listened to voices that diminished your worth. Voices that told you that you would never succeed. Voices that reminded you of every failure. Voices that highlighted every weakness. Slowly, those voices became part of your inner dialogue. And without realizing it, you began speaking to yourself in ways I never would. You began doubting your value, questioning your purpose, comparing yourself to others, wondering whether you truly mattered. But hear me clearly. You are not an accident. You are not forgotten. You are not insignificant. You are not invisible. You are my child. And that truth is greater than every lie you have believed. When I look at you, I do not see only your mistakes. I see your potential. I see your growth. I see your faithfulness. I see the person you are becoming. I see the victories that are still ahead. My beloved child, freedom begins when you agree with what I say about you instead of what fear says about you. Freedom begins when you stop defining yourself by your wounds. Freedom begins when you stop measuring your worth by other people's opinions. Freedom begins when you finally believe that my love is enough. If you are ready for that freedom, tell me now. I choose freedom. Say it from your heart. Not because every chain has already fallen, but because you are choosing to stop carrying them. You are choosing to trust me with your pain. Trust me with your regrets. Trust me with your disappointments. Trust me with your future. Because the more you release, the more room you create for what I am bringing. And what I am bringing is greater than anything you are leaving behind. The future I have prepared for you is not built upon fear. It is not built upon shame. It is not built upon regret. It is built upon hope. It is built upon purpose. It is built upon my promises. And when you begin to see that future through my eyes, you will realize that your story is far from over. In fact, some of the most beautiful chapters have not even begun to unfold. My child, some of the most beautiful chapters of your life have not yet been written. I know there were moments when you believed your best days were behind you. Moments when disappointment convinced you that nothing would ever truly change. Moments when your circumstances appeared so overwhelming that hope felt distant. But I want you to lift your eyes. Look beyond today. Look beyond what is currently visible. Look beyond the limitations that surround you. Because what I see for your future is not what fear has been showing you. Fear paints pictures of failure. Fear predicts loss. Fear magnifies obstacles. But I am not speaking through fear. I am speaking through truth. And the truth is that I have plans for your life that extend far beyond your current struggles. The situation that concerns you today will not define your entire future. The battle you are facing today will not last forever. The pain you feel today is not the final destination. You are moving forward. Even when progress feels slow, even when you cannot see every step, you are moving forward. My beloved child, I have placed purpose inside you. A purpose greater than your fears. A purpose greater than your failures. A purpose greater than the opinions of others. There is a reason you are still here. There is a reason I have carried you through every storm. There is a reason your story continues. Because I am not finished with you. Not even close. There are people you will encourage. Lives you will impact. Blessings you will receive. Lessons you will share. Victories you will witness. And one day, you will look back and realize that many of the struggles that almost broke you became the very things that strengthened you. The pain did not destroy you, it prepared you. The waiting did not weaken you, it developed you. The obstacles did not stop you, they redirected you. And through every season I remained faithful. My child, there is peace ahead. Not because life will suddenly become perfect, but because your trust in me will become stronger. There is joy ahead. Not because every challenge disappears, but because you will learn that my presence is greater than every challenge. There is strength ahead, not because you will never feel weak again, but because you will discover how much strength flows through a heart that depends on me. I see the future you cannot yet see. I see the opportunities approaching. I see the connections being formed. I see the prayers moving toward fulfillment. I see the healing taking place. I see the restoration beginning. And I see you standing stronger than you are today, not because of your own power, but because my hand has carried you. There may be moments ahead when doubt tries to return, moments when fear whispers familiar lies, moments when circumstances attempt to convince you that nothing has changed. When those moments come, remember this: I did not bring you this far to abandon you now. I did not guide you through every previous storm only to leave you in this one. I did not begin a good work in your life with the intention of leaving it unfinished. I am faithful from beginning to end. My beloved child, I want you to start expecting good things again, not because the world is perfect, but because your Father is faithful. Start believing that healing is possible. Start believing that restoration is possible. Start believing that new beginnings are possible. Start believing that joy can return. Start believing that peace can return. Start believing that your future can be brighter than your past. Do not allow fear to write the story of your life. Allow faith to do that. Allow hope to do that. Allow my promises to do that. Because the future I have prepared for you is not built upon the mistakes you made. It is built upon my grace. It is built upon my mercy. It is built upon my love. And my love never fails. If you believe that something good is coming, tell me now. Amen. Not because you know exactly how everything will unfold, not because you can already see every answer, but because you trust the one who holds tomorrow. Because you trust the one who sees the end from the beginning. Because you trust the one who calls you his beloved child. Hold on to that truth. Carry it with you when you wake. Carry it with you when you work. Carry it with you when challenges arise. Let it remind you that you are never facing life alone. For even now, as your heart begins to feel lighter and your spirit begins to feel stronger, there remains one final thing I want you to remember above all else. Not a promise about tomorrow, not a blessing that is coming, but a truth that has been surrounding you every single day of your life. My beloved child, before these words come to an end, I want you to be still for a moment. Take a deep breath. Quiet the noise around you. Quiet the worries that have been racing through your mind. Quiet the fears that have been demanding your attention. And simply listen, not to the voice of fear, not to the voice of doubt, but to my voice, because there is one truth I want you to carry with you long after this moment has passed. You are loved, not because of what you have accomplished, not because of how strong you have been, not because of how perfectly you have lived. You are loved because you are mine. Before you faced your first struggle, I loved you. Before you prayed your first prayer, I loved you. Before you succeeded, before you failed, before you understood who I was, I loved you. And nothing has changed. Nothing you have faced has diminished my love. Nothing you have done has exhausted my mercy. Nothing that happened yesterday can separate you from my care today. My child, there will be days ahead when life feels difficult. Days when answers seem delayed. Days when emotions feel heavy. Days when uncertainty tries to return. When those moments come, remember what I have spoken to your heart today. You do not walk alone. You do not fight alone. You do not carry your burdens alone. I am with you. In the morning when you wake. In the afternoon when responsibilities feel overwhelming. In the evening when exhaustion settles upon you. In the quiet hours of the night when no one else sees your tears. I am there. I have always been there. And I will continue to be there. There may be times when you do not feel my presence. But my presence does not depend on your feelings. There may be times when you do not understand my plan, but my plan does not depend on your understanding. There may be times when you cannot see the path ahead, but I can, and that is enough. My beloved child, stop carrying what was never yours to carry. Release the burden. Release the fear. Release the pressure. Release the need to have every answer. Release the need to control every outcome. Place it all into my hands. Trust me with the things you understand. Trust me with the things you do not understand. Trust me with your past. Trust me with your present. Trust me with your future. Trust me with the people you love. Trust me with the prayers you are still waiting to see answered. Trust me with every part of your life, because my hands are stronger than yours. My wisdom is greater than yours. My love is deeper than yours, and my faithfulness never fails. One day, you will look back and realize that many of the things you worried about never came to pass. Many of the battles you feared never arrived. Many of the burdens you carried were never yours to carry at all. And you will see how faithfully I guided you through every season. You will see how I protected you, how I provided for you, how I strengthened you, how I carried you when you thought you were carrying yourself. Until then, walk by faith. Rest in my promises, sleep in my peace, stand in my strength, and live with confidence, knowing that your life is safely held in my hands, my child. The future is not in the hands of fear. The future is not in the hands of uncertainty. The future is in my hands, and you are in my hands as well. So, be at peace, be still, be confident, be hopeful, because I am with you, I am for you. I am guiding you, I am protecting you, I am providing for you, and I will never leave you, never. Before you go, I want you to make one final declaration of faith. If these words have spoken to your heart today, write, Lord, I trust you with everything. Write it as a prayer. Write it as a surrender. Write it as a declaration that fear will no longer lead your life. And if you know someone who is carrying a burden that has become too heavy, share this message with them. Perhaps these words are the reminder they have been needing. Now go forward with peace in your heart. Go forward with faith in your spirit. Go forward knowing that you are deeply loved. And remember this, whenever worry tries to return, you do not have to carry it anymore. I am carrying it with you. Amen.